After Kirsten's not-so-shocking eviction, the housemates have all disappeared and been sent to the Nether region to face the next head of household challenge. Who will survive the Nether region as one person gets left behind? Make sure to stay tuned because we are going to be breaking down Big Brother 25, episode 5. So, like I said in the intro, apparently all the housemates disappeared at the end of the previous episode. We did see like a weird portal opening at the end of the episode, but like I didn't include it in the recap because I was like, I didn't get it, but now I get it. So a portal opened and apparently sucked all the housemates in, and they were sent to the Nether region. And I gotta say, out of the 4 seasons of Big Brother US that I've watched, that's season 24, 2 and 3. This was the best challenge I've seen by far. This was so much fun to watch, and I imagine it would have been a lot of fun to play as well, because they were brought to like this creepy ass neighborhood. It looked like something out of Halloween, and there were different hiding spots that they could choose. And then this Nether Gorgon would walk around and hunt them down, but he would only look in certain places. And then the places where they had to hide, he would give to them as clues, but that they had to decipher. But they were like really stupid clues, like I won't creep where you find a doll with a backwards head or something like that. And it was really interesting clues that he was giving, but it also made it so much fun to watch because sometimes you were like, oh, I think they're in the right place, and then they would be out because they'd miscounted the number of bones in the place or something like that. So this was such a cool challenge and a great way to decide who the head of household was. But it also came with a chilling warning. Somebody was going to be left behind in the Nether region, and it would have dire consequences moving forward. And I think that had me a little bit on edge because I was like, okay, I'm kind of with the Professors Alliance. I really like the Professors Alliance. I think they're very entertaining. They're very interesting. But also because I want Sari to make it as far as she can. Because she's, as much as she is very good at this game, she's the underdog because people are aware that she's good at the game. Do you know what I mean? So I was really hoping that the Handful Alliance would kind of crumble in this task. And one of them would end up with the dire consequence. But yeah, it was a very, very interesting challenge. Let's get into what happened. So they had different locations that they could hide in. There was 4 different rounds. The first round, I think it was Blue, Nicole, and Cameron were eliminated because they hid in the wrong place, which was fair enough. Round 2, Jag, Matt, America, and Sari and Izzy were out. They were in the wrong locations as well. I gotta say, the clues got more cryptic as they went along, and they got harder to spot. Like one of them was, "I'll be there where there's exactly 7 candles," and I was like, "I'm not walking around counting the candles. What you on about?" So that was quite tricky. And then the third round, Red, Corey, Felicia, and Bowie Jane were all caught and were out of the game. I gotta say, the atmosphere in this trial was incredible. It was actually quite tense to watch. I was watching it like 2 a.m, and it was really actually like quite heart racing at times because I genuinely didn't know who the guy was going to go for. But then it came down to 2 people, Hisam and Jared. And essentially, this is where things got really, really cool. Because Jared had noted that on the car, there was the words, the number 4. And they were told that each of them had to stand in front of one of the doors. There was 2 houses, and both of them had front doors. And they had to choose one of the doors to walk through. One of them would lead to the HOH room, meaning they'd won, and the other one would lead to the Nether region, which is where they'd stay for the foreseeable. And Jared made a big miscalculation because you had to run around and find the different clues, but he didn't quite read them properly, and it was I think he read one that said starts with the number 4. So he read the number 4 on the car, and he saw that starts with on the fountain, and he just went for the one that started with the number 4. But he also missed the message in the sort of chainsaw shed that said, "Don't open the door." So the full message should have read, "Don't open the door that starts with the number 4." And Jared did exactly that. So Jared ended up trapped in the Nether region, whilst Heisem became the new head of household. As soon as Heisem became the new head of household, the Handful Alliance was shitting themselves. I kid you not. This was genuinely like a bit like, ooh, hang on a minute, what's going on here? You guys, I haven't seen you guys this terrified since like you guys came in here, because obviously someone was in charge from their alliance last week, and now they've lost that power in the house. So essentially that means that any one of them could be in danger. Blue also brought up the fact that she thinks that Heisem is carrying that team, but like, I don't think that's entirely fair to say, because like, nobody in your team was good enough to make it to the final. Like, apart from if we're going to be technical, yes, Jared did make it to the final and he is part of your alliance, but like, also he's technically not part of your alliance because he's in an alliance with his mum. So like, really, he's backing the professors over your team. I don't know, it's weird, but like, you guys all got eliminated so early on. Like in the final round before like the final 2, there was only 2 people out of the 6 from their alliance. The rest was all the professors. So like, pipe down, Blue, please. After the Heisem won the head of household challenge, he and some of the other people on his team, such as Felicia, Bowie Jane, and Sari, they all started laughing and cheering in the sort of pantry area, the cooking place. The cooking place? There's what is that room out the back? Like the laundry room, I guess? I don't know. It's a room where they all go to like chat and shit. But like, they started to plot, and Heisem was basically saying the people that are on his radar are Matt, Cameron, and Riley. And I thought that was very, very interesting, because those are 3 names of the people that I wasn't expecting to be necessarily put up. But then we saw some flashbacks, and this is what I find interesting about Big Brother US, is the editing style is very much sort of, we're going to show you the highlights of the challenges, and then when it comes to the decision making, we're going to just throw in random conversations that we didn't show but are now applying as flashbacks. And I think that's very interesting, because it makes sure that it remains current. So like, this was a conversation from like day 6, and it's now day 9, and so we saw Riley saying to Heisem that she thinks that he's a threat, and that like she might potentially target him at some point. And my god, Riley, you fucked yourself there. You should never have said that to Heisem, because Heisem has kept that grudge, and he is now going to put you up on that chopping block. Genuinely, it was tough to watch, because like, Heisem immediately went, yeah, I'm putting Riley up, because she basically said I'm a threat and that she wants to get me out. And so I was just like, uh-oh, this is not going well. Heisem spoke to Matt and basically called out his alliance, and sort of Matt was sort of like, I don't know about an alliance, or if we have an alliance, then I don't know the name. But he was also telling Matt the plan, like, I'm planning on putting you and Riley up for nomination, because I think that's my best way of getting her out. And immediately Matt's like, what do you mean you're putting me up for nomination? What do you mean you put me and Riley up for nomination? Because, as we've learnt, Riley and Matt might have a little bit of a showmance going on. Showmances don't often end well on this show. They are often put up against each other and systematically evicted. But I don't know. This one's quite cute. We had God, I'm trying to remember their names from last season. Oh my god, I can't even remember them. There were 2 of them, and I completely forgotten their names. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But there was a showmance last season, and it ended up being a bit of a bloodbath in the end. It was a bit disappointing, but yeah, they don't end well. So like, Matt, you got to protect yourself at the end of the day. So this whole time, Jared has been stuck in the Nether region, and it was very, very interesting to see him sort of pop up on the screen. And there is a certain degree of acting when it comes to Big Brother US, and it's very much sort of like, I'm in the Nether region. You're not actually in the Nether region. You're probably just in a spare room currently, waiting out the time before you can be sent back into the house. But like, I do like the theatrics of it. It is very, very entertaining. It's a very, very heavily, what's the word I'm looking for? Produced show, but like, I don't care because it is entertaining. I've got Big Brother UK for like the real Big Brother experience, but then I've got US Big Brother for like the drama and the tension and the game playing. So like, it's just an entertaining TV show, not necessarily a great Big Brother format. But yeah, it is highly entertaining, and Jared ended up getting sent back, but he was told that he then had to send a soul back to the Nether region in exchange for his own sort of existence, and that person would be immune from nominations. That's a huge, huge power to have, and I think the way Jared went about it was very smart and very diplomatic. He went straight to Hisam, and Hisam went, you can send anybody, but do not send Cameron, Matt, or Riley, because they are who I am targeting. And Hisam's been very, very open about who he's targeting, and I feel like that's interesting, because being open like that means that you're going to make enemies a lot quicker. However, Jared is also not wanting to piss Hisam off, because he's wanting to protect himself, and he very much could still be put up for nomination if he sort of blocks Riley. And I found it a little bit interesting that he ended up going with Jag. Riley begged him. Like, when I tell you, she was practically on her knees begging for him to save her, and he didn't. Oh, it was tough. It was tough to watch, because I thought, you best hope that Riley leaves this week, because otherwise Riley's never forgiven you for that. Like, Jared, you done fucked up. But also, it's difficult because I don't know who to root for in this game. I'm not. This is the issue with this cast currently, is I'm really liking everyone, and there's no one that like I want out of the house, because Hisam's target this week is Riley, but I really like Riley, so I don't want her to go. And I just think it's a very, very interesting situation to be in, because we're currently in this situation where Riley could be going home. And I think that's very interesting. So yeah, he chose Jag to go. Jag is immune from nominations this week, so that means even if he does come back after the veto meeting and someone uses the veto, he cannot be put up on the stand. So essentially, he's made it to week 3, which is great. Yeah, I think Jared had a really, really tough decision, and he did the best he could. He didn't anger the HOH, which I think is the best decision moving forward, but who can tell in the long run whether this play was good or not. So I'm just going to talk about the nomination ceremony and like a little bit that happened before it. Hisam had a meeting with Cameron, and he basically came down to the decision that putting Cameron against Riley was better than putting Riley against Matt. Purely because Cameron has more... Cameron... I don't actually know what the reason is, but I think it's mostly because they've, like, Hisam was very, very open to Cameron about this. He was basically like, we've got the numbers to get Riley out of the house. So, you are a pawn, you are just a pawn, but we are getting Riley out of this house, and we've got the numbers to get her out. And I was like, that's quite brazen. That's quite bold of you to assume that, because your alliance could switch on you at any minute. Like, that's crazy for you to say that. But also, fair. Because if he wants Riley out, he wants Riley out. And who did he put up for nominations? Riley and Cameron. So it seems like this week is going to hinge entirely on the veto and whether Riley or Cameron can manage to, I don't know what the word is, manage to win the power of veto and take themselves down from nominations. Ideally, best case scenario for the Handfuls Alliance is that they take down Riley because Riley is kind of their leader at the moment. But it doesn't seem that that's very likely to happen, because if anybody from the Professors Alliance or, like, I don't know, maybe some people from the Handful Alliance, like, win the power of veto, they're not taking Riley down. They're probably just going to leave them up there because that's better for their game at the end of the day. So, you know what? This is going to be a very, very interesting week to watch, and I think there's going to be so much tension bubbling over by the end of the week. It seems very interesting that the house is so split so early on, but I think that's making for great television. So, yeah, thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys for the next episode soon, and it's the Power of Veto competition. Keep on ranting. Bye now.